see it from Poly Lesbians and see if you can see it on the events for the PolyTalk event.
I did get this notification that said, damn, what was it?
All right.
Oh, you say my real page?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, of course, I don't have another page, but I just pulled up the. You know how mommy posts and shit? I can put it on my profile.
Don't do that.
I mean, I'm not. But
that ain't what I want.
I can see that's what it is right now.
All right.
I got too much forehead up there.
I don't know. First of all, because I'm on this. There we go. All right. Hey, y'all. Do me a favor. Give me a few seconds. Let's wait to gain some viewers and also wait for Malka to join. Did a test run of the technology today and it worked. So I hope we're all good today. Ooh, yeah. Wait, nope. Malka, I seen the request and it just went away.
This is a quadruple G.
Later.
You got me?
I got you. There you go.
All right. No lags or nothing?
Nah, no lags. You look like you right on point.
All right, cool.
Cool. Let me turn my phone up. Volume all the way up. All right, we good. All right. So what time is it? It is 8:22. I literally want to get started quick. I want to get started at like 8:25. I guess it's 3 minutes. Poly Lesbian sends out a notification to everyone in the page because I sent the invite to everyone in the page to see the live. And I'm also checking a few things with Trace to make sure we all good. All right, this is Bob. Could you see the live from the Poly page specifically?
Okay, well, that's how I'm at.
Yes, I can see Lyrical Sugars live.
When I scroll down the page, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, boom, I scroll down the page, I can see me too. So that means we're on people's timelines. All right, great. Let me go to my regular Facebook page. Okay, great. And I also went to my regular page and I see that it sent a regular notification to everyone. I got a notification from this page and I'm allowed to. All right. So like I said, anybody new watching, we're finna start at 8:25, approximately 2 minutes. How you feeling, Michael?
Man, I'm feeling good.
That's good. I feel good too.
Good.
I had a long
That's
day.
it.
I just got in. I went food shopping. Yeah,
It
that was a
works.
lot for Thanksgiving too. So it was a lot.
Yeah, so it's extra.
Yeah, definitely. Nice, pretty penny.
Right. Shoot, I ain't doing the cooking this year.
You gonna be visiting family?
Absolutely. Absolutely. With my hands out, like, I bring a bottle of wine as a, offering, but I'm not cooking this year.
I understand. I understand. I won't be doing so next year. Definitely.
Opting out.
All right. Yeah, next year I'm going somewhere. Somewhere that ain't at my house.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got 1 more minute. Views is going up, so that's good. That's great. Let me see if there's an invite all button. I doubt it.
I did it. I'm still in the living.
I doubt it.
What?
Trisha over there getting it. She in the back doing the technical work. She hit invite to like hundreds of members.
I'm still the
one at a time. Dedicated. All right. Boom, it's 8:25. All right, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Right. Malka Yazz, right? You've been a part of the group for a while now, probably like a year now, right?
Nah, it seemed like it's only been a few months.
Really?
Summertime.
Yeah, we're probably approaching a year because me and you, we known each other for a while now, a couple months definitely.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So I guess a little background on you, like who are you? Your poly? What's your dynamic? Like, what's going on in your life?
Okay, so currently, I'm currently single right now. Was involved with someone, and it's on pretty much the space where we figuring things out. Definitely dating separately. I honestly don't have a set dynamic.
Mm.
With me, my ideal poly is to connect genuinely with whomever I connect with, and we figure out what we want and if it fits each other's life equally to provide a balance. So I don't have like it's just me and I date separately, or I got somebody and eventually we gonna date together. I'm open to exploring the endless possibilities of poly.
Okay. Um, would you consider yourself solo poly?
In most aspects, yes.
Okay. All right. So, all right, good to know. I think most of the group know about me, but briefly, I'm the admin. My name is, well, I guess it's confusing to know what my name is. A lot of people call me Shug or Sugar, but my name is King. I'm with the other admin, Trisha King. We are, what, like 4 or 5 years in? We like 4 or 5 years in deep. Been poly from the jump. Was poly before we met, but wasn't claiming that. Was in monogamous relationships and cheating and whatnot. Got together, I guess, two professional cheaters got together and realized it was an alternative lifestyle. So, what is our dynamic? I guess our preferred dynamic is definitely triad. Our current dynamic is dating separately. So, yeah, boom. It's a spill to me. All right, so we're gonna jump right into the questions. Today's topic, the realm of what we getting at, is basically boundaries and cheating within the poly world, right? And how that looks. And I think this is gonna be good back and forth because we got very different poly dynamics, and the way I operate is completely different from your more freer mindset, right? So yeah. First question, we jump right into it. Can you cheat in a poly relationship?
Absolutely.
I agree. I agree.
Absolutely. Most people get into poly to cheat.
Yeah, definitely. I told you I was a professional cheater in my monogamous life. I seen
Right.
this and saw opportunity,
I was like,
Yeah,
sign me up.
for real. And then I started digging deep and it became more than that. But definitely, you could definitely cheat within a poly relationship, in my opinion. Next question. What is cheating?
Cheating is anything outside of the communication set boundaries that you and your partners have.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Anything outside of that.
I
When
definitely
somebody step
agree.
outside of that, you cheating.
Yeah. I guess the communication set boundaries part is a part that's making me feel a little limited because I feel like, there's a lot of situations that come about that didn't necessarily come up in conversation. And then you got to
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to navigate yourself and what is the right or wrong decision to make, what is cheating, what is not cheating, just because we haven't spoken about it. And I may be in a position to make an immediate decision and I don't know how you feel.
So here's a question for you then.
Mm-hmm.
Being that you just stated certain things that come up that may not have been communicated, do you act on impulse or do you communicate things first?
I think it depends on the situation. So, example, I don't know, say I'm kicking it with a girl and, I get an opportunity and it's happening right then and there. I think impulse is going to be what I go with. And I think being impulsive, I think I'm speaking lightly with the term impulsive, because you also have to figure out like what's the right decision in your mind before you make that decision, even though it's in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, I don't know, if I took a girl on a date and she asked me a question I didn't know the answer to, then I could go home to my wife and ask that question. You know?
Okay.
So I think those communicational boundaries are they limit me, because I don't know what's cheating when I'm in
Right, because
surprise
that's what I was
situation.
about to say. Right now, you straddling the fence.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So I think in my mind, I probably view cheating as anything that's possibly non-consensual, you know what I'm saying, and done and
Right.
not done in good faith. So yeah,
Okay.
I think you know your partner. So if you make a decision, you would know, the type of faith they would use, the decisions they would make, and how they would think, their thought process. At least you should know your partner well enough,
Mm-hmm.
to know if they're gonna be mad. If you think your partner gonna be mad, then you might be cheating. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Without a doubt. I can agree with that.
Yeah. Have you ever been monogamous? Have you ever lived a monogamous lifestyle?
I honestly have never lived a monogamous lifestyle.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Now, monogamy in a social or in an encapsulated definition of monogamy would be having sexual interactions with other people outside of your primary partner. Um, for me, I'm more of a connection type of person. I'm a date who I want to, I'll confide in who I'm comfortable with. I may have somebody that I'm interested in. Maybe it just might be sexually. Maybe it's somebody that I vibe with and I could vent to, and my primary partner doesn't provide that for me. Um, but throughout my years, I've always had multiple partners that if you ask them, are you in a relationship with her? And they'd be like, yeah. So, I've always practiced poly,
Oh,
always.
wow. I cannot say the same. That's nice though. That's nice that I don't think in my world poly existed from the start. So to know that
Okay.
someone was like practicing poly from the start, that's interesting, because I didn't find that out until way later. And if it was a lifestyle I had even known existed, I would have taken advantage a long time ago. I would have never been in monogamous relationships. You know.
Okay, so being that you were a serial cheater.
I said a professional cheater. I was not a serial cheater. I was a professional cheater. I
A
was just good at it.
professional cheater.
Yeah.
What stopped you from opening up with those you were involved with and expressing your needs or your desires or even something that you wanted to explore versus just cheating?
Oh, because I was definitely with monogamous women.
Okay, they were
Definitely.
straight up
The women I
monogamous.
was with weren't going for that, So
Okay.
yeah, and I didn't know it was something to bring to a woman. I didn't know that was something that possibly is okay, not until I met my wife, until I met Tracia. Had I met someone who was willing and open in conversation to even speak about it long before we even spoke about a relationship. We was best friends before we got together. And as best friends, we already had talks of poly, so it was no never mind to us when we started falling in love that this is how we was gonna live our lives, you know.
All right, I understand.
Yep. Next question on the list. Is it easier to cheat when monogamous, or is it easier to cheat when you polyamorous?
I'm going to say it's easier to cheat in a monogamous relationship. Here's why. With monogamy, people are so engulfed in being the only partner or being the source of everything to provide for a person that you can feed them certain things and allow them to think like you're my everything, I don't need nobody else but you, and they can be complacent with that. They're satisfied with that. So it's under the guise of being manipulative, lying, being at wolves in sheep's clothing. Meanwhile, in poly, most people that practice it wholeheartedly, their communication is phenomenal.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's hard to cheat, or it would be difficult to cheat really in poly. on your partner. Because your partner know what's up. Obviously, they practice poly too. So they up on everything, you know. Why the attention low? Why I've been getting these phone calls that I've been getting, who you been talking to? You know what I mean? Like, we know when our time is being spread with somebody else.
So all around, you think it's easier to cheat being mono compared to being poly?
Absolutely. Hey babe, I'm gonna be late, staying at the office. Or hey, going to the gym. As long as home is happy,
Brittany,
it's a lot easier.
How is jealousy handled within your relationships?
I can't see no comments at all.
Yeah, Brittany.
All I see is who is watching. So Tracia, you're gonna have to keep me updated with the comments.
Okay, that's fine. I'm like, hey, why do I like saying?
Can you see the comments?
Yeah, I see some.
I can't see any.
Brittany asked, how is jealousy handled within your relationships?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how is jealousy handled within your relationship? I think I'll take a jab at that first. I think for me, I think one thing me and my wife understand is that jealousy is a natural emotion. It's a human emotion, right? I think some people want to have this ideology that, you know, yeah, I ain't jealous of nobody or nothing. And while that may be true for them, I think their definition of jealousy just may be a little slim. And I think how we handle that is through communication and constant reassurance. You know, I'm very communicative. I talk about everything. I might talk too much, you know. So like I talk to my wife. Let me know how you feel. What's your insecurities? Why you feeling this way? Even if I don't agree with you, like give me the conversation so I can know your point of view. And you can say you told me so, you know. Like, and I won't give you no space to like fall through the cracks, you know. So that's how I handle jealousy in my relationship. I talk through it, you know.
Yeah, I could agree. Communication is definitely first. In a sense, you have to, if you choose to take on multiple partners and you being a source, you actually have to conform to everyone's emotions and their feelings, and provide that safe space and that balance. It's definitely good to have partners engage with each other so that there is no jealousy. So it's not like a mystery person hanging over here. And when I'm over on this side, it's like, man, who is she with? What is she doing? Everybody develops a sense of relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, you know, self-awareness is very important in jealousy too. Because within a poly world, we try to put jealousy on the other partner. Like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling jealous. Let me bring this to my other partner so we can find a solution. Rather than, yeah, that's one solution. But the other part of that solution is I'm feeling jealous. What could I do for myself? Why am I feeling this way? You know, why am I taking these thoughts and making them negative and not making them positive? Like, compersion is a big thing when we talk about poly, and a lot of us don't feel it. A lot of us don't really understand and know what that is. So, you know, I think it's half of your partner, it's half of yourself. You got to put the time and effort into seeing why you feel that way and how you can help yourself, not just how your partner could validate your feelings.
Yeah, I agree. And definitely to add on to that, before even exploring poly, if you're already in a relationship, it's best to ensure that your partner is comfortable with that first. Because if you got a partner that's just doing and going along to keep you, there will always be a sense of jealousy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can see the comments now?
Yeah, now they just popping up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Kenyatta said poly is easier to cheat. There's gray areas. Now you have said monogamy. Monogamy is a little easier to cheat within, and I think poly is easier to cheat. Just from my experience, I say that, right? I told you I was a professional cheater in my monogamous lifestyle, and you know, that was hard. Okay, that was real hard. It was hard being sneaky. It was hard lying. It was hard remembering lies. It was hard being with, you know, Monday and Tuesday and then Wednesday and Thursday. It was exhausting. You know, it was definitely hard, and I felt bad for it because I felt like I was obviously doing wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that was definitely harder. Rather in poly, I feel like it's easier because the opportunity is way more present. You know, I could tell you, yeah, but I went to kick it with this girl. You know, we went on a date. Things went great. You know, we ain't do nothing that night. Well, really, I done blew sis back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know. And I had full opportunity to do so. And that's why you don't know. So that's why I feel like it's easier to cheat within the poly world because the opportunity is always present. And also, like I said earlier, that whole like gray area of what we haven't talked about, the boundaries we haven't really spoken about, to where I've done something and now you feel cheated on, you know. So when that opportunity would never have been present in a monogamous relationship at all.
And that's why I say that it's easier because it's not present. If you capable of satisfying home, so I've tried being monogamous, and it's easy to please one person. For me, it's very easy. It's like there's nobody else that you have to compete with. Psychologically in poly, everyone's competing in a sense.
Yeah.
Regardless if all partners say, okay, we all comfortable, everything's on the table, we've all established our boundaries and relationships, there's always a dynamic of competing. So for me, monogamy is very easy to cheat because it's like you got one person to please. They're not worried about necessarily what you're doing if they're happy. If they're provided for.
I think when you say that, like immediately what popped in my brain, but in monogamy, you gotta intentionally cheat. You gotta do it on purpose. You know you cheated.
Yeah, I mean you cheat.
That gotta be harder. That gotta be harder than doing it by mistake.
You could cheat in poly by mistake. Cheating is cheating.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in monogamous relationships generally, in order to cheat, 9 times out of 10 it was done intentionally. You can't accidentally cheat in monogamy.
From a
poly mind, that's not how that works, you know.
From a poly mind, I'm not cheating. I'm not conforming to my shorty over here who wants monogamy. I'm going to give her monogamy, but I'm always going to be who I am.
I get what you're saying. I think for me, it would just be harder to continue myself in a monogamous relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was forced to get in a monogamous relationship, I would cheat. I would definitely cheat. You know,
because now you got the boundaries.
Oh yeah, the boundaries. Yeah, I'm gonna step outside of them, definitely. You know, and I'm gonna keep sis happy. She never gonna know what's going on. And I know it sounds crazy. She ain't never gonna know what's going on. But that's why I don't live that lifestyle, because that's the person I would be. You know what I'm saying? I'm a beautiful person when I'm poly. I'm an ugly person when I'm monogamous. You know.
Makes sense.
How you cheat on accident? That's what Lisa said. How you cheat by mistake?
Yeah, you know, I can't tell you how you cheat by mistake. That's why I'm saying you have to intentionally know. There is no slipping up.
In monogamy, I agree to that. In poly, it's easy to cheat by mistake.
Wait, tag me in.
What happened, Tracy? Tracy actually tagged
me in.
Tracy, tag
Everybody has seen everyone has seen Seeking Sister Wife on TLC. As poly people, we look for our personal.
Yeah.
When what's the nigga's name? Dimitri went on a date with that bitch with the fro. Ashley didn't know nothing about that, but he had sex with that bitch.
He hit that, yeah. And he didn't think it was cheating at the time. And he cheated by mistake because he crossed boundaries that they spoke about but didn't specify. So that was like accidental cheating, because she didn't feel less cheated on because he felt like he didn't know what to do.
See, that's why I called you a serial cheater. You play word semantics.
Now I'm not playing word semantics. I'm saying you can cheat by accident in a poly relationship. I truly believe that if the boundaries wasn't clearly set and you are unsure of how your partner feel in a immediate impulsive moment, it's easy to accidentally cheat. As opposed to in a monogamous relationship, how are you cheating on accident?
Well, yeah, that's why I asked. Do you just do things off of impulse? Or do you be like, hold on, wait, we had a good night, great date, I'm back at your house, let me call my partner up first and run it by her? Or you just going with the impulse?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be 100% honest right now. Okay, and my wife can attest to this. She agrees with me. I'm not about to be hot and heavy in no moment and be like, hold on. Let me call my wife right fast. Let me see if this all right. I wasn't sure. You know, like I'm not gonna do that. You know, I'm gonna be like, we gonna figure this out later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hot, you hot. We gonna do what hot people do. You know. So
Okay.
that's my thought process, but.
Yeah, and this is why I think that
She a Leo. I am dead. Whoa, Sophie, I would give you the middle finger if Facebook wasn't being so sensitive.
They definitely sensitive.
All right. Hey, Mercedes. There's no such thing. Guys, y'all gotta be like talking in full sentences, because when you say like things, there's like there's no such thing as what? I don't remember what we said. I really don't. We said so much. Deja said, I think some people don't set boundaries initially in the way they need when they're first starting, because they may not know what boundaries they need until it happens. That's very true. That's very true. Especially like if your dynamic change, boundaries change, you know? Certain people make you feel different senses of comfort. Boundaries change. Certain situations make you feel new senses of discomfort. Boundaries change, you know? So definitely. But you already know your wife is okay with that already. Yeah, that might have been a bad example, Lisa, because I know Tracia is definitely okay with that. But I don't know. I can't really think of a situation to where I'm like, damn, is Tracia all right with this? Or like, with Tracia, like, be mad at me. You know what I'm saying? I would just go with what I felt like was best. And me and my wife would have a conversation when I got home, and she would know my honest intent. If she really think I went out and cheated on her, we have a problem. And it's up. You know, like, you knew what I was out finna do.
Okay, what so then this will have to bring us to that question. What is cheating in poly?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That will have to.
So sick of y'all. They calling me a Leo. I must sound crazy.
They definitely going in.
My wife is a Leo, and that's how she used to be back in the day. God damn. I got a poly question. What's up, Mercedes?
I could definitely agree with Deja. Definitely. Deja says, I think some people don't set boundaries initially in the way they need when they're first starting, because they may not know what boundaries they may need until it happens.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like the best communication, like the best communicational people in the world, you know, could have all types of conversations. We could sit on the phone till 4 o'clock in the morning every single night, you know, and talk about everything under the sun. And then we'll run into one situation we hadn't spoke about. And we trying to figure out how each other feel in this situation, using other context clues from what you might have said in this scenario. Mm-hmm. And then we still make mistakes. You know, I think the most beautiful thing in this poly world is the freedom we have. You understand? And the freedom of expression we have, and also in the back of our minds, knowing what our primary goal still is.
Okay, Mercedes. Let's see. Mercedes says, what if you want to be poly but get jealous? Man, poly not for you. In short, it's not. It definitely isn't. And the reason why I say that is because there's a vast majority that can please your partner better than you. We all engage each other differently. We all get certain type of relationships from other people, and you got to be complete to allow your partner to explore poly for themselves. And if you can't do that, then you should just maintain being single and finding what fits for you.
Yeah, I agree to most of those extremities. I feel like I said earlier, we all got natural emotions. Like, I feel like jealousy is something that come naturally. I feel like if you know those are like hunger insecurities that are bound to affect the next person in a negative way, then you should definitely get that in check before you go ahead and dip into the lifestyle. You need to be more secure than you are not. So that is not saying insecurities don't exist, but that is definitely saying you need to be more secure in yourself then you are not self-aware. Very much. You need to be very much self-aware. If you are not self-aware in this poly world, you're gonna find your way navigating to be real hard.
And definitely don't take on another partner to compensate your partner having a partner.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's crazy. I was talking the other day about the word fair and what fair means in the poly world. And we often think fair is I do what you do, you do what I do. That's fair.
No.
And that ain't true. Fair is you cater to my needs and I cater to yours, and we adapt how it's necessary. That don't mean we meet in the middle all the time. You know, what might apply to me may not apply to you because your needs are different. So, yeah,
it's equality. Yep, there is definitely a sense of equality, providing a balance, sense of homeostasis.
Yeah, definitely. They say it's this big old meme that used to go around: equality versus equity. A lot of people don't know the difference, you know. And I'm looking for equity. I'm not looking for equality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for equity. Period. What's up? What's up with some of the more questions up here? I've learned this year it's not always about communication, but comprehension. Oh yeah, that's facts.
Yeah,
that's facts. Understanding, you know, digesting what people saying, and also listening, not to respond. You know, we often listen with our mouth and not our ears. We listen, waiting for the opportunity for us to speak, rather than to digest the words that's coming out the next person's mouth. Says you have to acknowledge why you're jealous and go on from there. I definitely agree with you. Daisy says jealousy usually stems from a feeling of being left out or not good enough, but there are things that can be done to minimize those fears, and jealousy will go away. I agree for the most part. Yeah, I think Mercedes says I think I get jealous because I feel like I didn't get enough attention. I needed when I tried my last poly in the past. Okay. Next question on the list. Bringing exes into new dynamics.
That's a hard no for me.
It's a hard no.
Yeah.
That's a hard no.
With some fine print to it, but more than that, it's a no.
Yeah. Definitely agree. Definitely agree. I have not seen a successful relationship to where somebody has brought in their ex into the photo and, you know, things that worked. I think, you know, that's your ex for a reason. You know, move on. What you like.
Yep.
Yeah, you know. I also don't want to, you know, be in no type of aura of past, like, connections. Like, because whatever the reason is y'all break up for, whatever that reason was, y'all need to fix that before getting into a new relationship, trying to see if it worked with me now. I don't want no parts. Leave it in the past.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Leave it in the past. No, a strong no. Yeah. T. Hold on. Oh. They can still have feelings and not show it until they get what they want, and then try to bring negative energy into your relationship. That's facts too. Sometimes people come in your life with a motive. You know, so I definitely agree. Yeah, you never know. That's just sketchy. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you want to get with your ex when you with me, why you just didn't get with your ex before you got with me?
Right, before you came over here.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Everybody got to be new. Everybody got to be new. That's in my poly. We're not dealing with old people or new people. Okay. So we dipped into a little bit of this. We was talking about boundaries and when is it okay to cross them?
Once I you know, just being an act of something. So it was a time where I was dating someone actively and I was in a relationship with someone, and just me being how I am, I needed to say, like, all right, me personally, in short, I don't cross boundaries. I like to get everything with whoever I'm involved with, and I explain to them my lifestyle and what I choose and desire up front. Obviously engaging over a course of time, you get to know somebody better, you talk, but boundaries definitely need to be respected. I'm not crossing them. I'm just not doing it. If I catch myself in a hot seat, I'm just going to be real hot for a minute, and I'm going to take that on home. And then we're going to discuss it, and then I get back to that hot seat after I discuss some boundaries.
I don't think you should ever cross boundaries. That's what Elijah said. Daisy said
I agree.
boundaries should always be respected, in my opinion. I agree. I agree with all you ladies. Boundary. I know y'all probably waiting for a Leo answer, waiting for me to say
right.
Monogamous, real cheating like shit. Y'all kiss my ass. Anyway, I definitely agree. I feel like if you set boundaries, you don't cross them. Not recently, more so early this year, I was in a situation to where I was set to tell a girl no, and I really did not want to, but I had to respect the boundaries I had with my wife. Right? And I felt like sis was real persistent, even though I was saying no, and it was like taking everything in me to still say no, but in the front of my head was my wife, and I couldn't face myself. You know what I'm saying? So I talk about all that serial cheating. God strike me if I'm lying. This the first relationship I've been in my life where I ain't never cheat. Everything I've ever done has been consensual, and I think it's the freedom to live a lifestyle. So as much as I wanted to, get down with sis and all that, I decided against it because, my wife was my first priority, and this girl was nobody, Yeah. It's a Leo for your ass. All right, Daisy said, people have boundaries because they know what they can handle before they reach their limit. Crossing that proves a lack of care and respect. Yes. Mm-hmm. That leads me to another question. All right, so we talk about boundaries. What you said is very important to me, Daisy. You said people set their boundaries because they know what they can and cannot handle. So what if someone sets a boundary that you cannot handle, but is within what they want to do, what they feel compelled to do, maybe is in their nature? How do you handle that? How do you and that person coexist when one of your boundaries is something that they naturally cross?
We can't coexist. There is no us. There's no relationship. Because if you cross something that I know I personally can't deal with, like I can't deal with bisexual women. Mm-hmm. That's a no. I'm not considering it. I'm not dealing with it. I don't care how beautiful you are, successful, how much you got this, that's a no.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm not going to deal with. Meanwhile, she may feel compelled to want to conform to me and say, okay, well, maybe I could just do this once a year if it's okay with you. No, it's still a no.
Yeah.
And there's been plenty of situations that I've lost because of me being so set in my boundaries of not bending. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're adaptable to people?
Yeah, of course.
So do you feel like that limitation is set at boundaries? Like, all right, so my question specifically is, how adaptable are you? Are your boundaries adaptable? Can you adapt to a person and meet them halfway at their needs if their boundaries go against what you naturally or impulsively do?
Well, there's certain things that I'm not going to accept. There's just certain things that how I am and what I desire or would need, I'm just not going to accept. In most cases, there's women that don't want another masculine energy around. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I get it. Like I said, the whole bisexual thing, I can adapt to that. But if it's something that where I can be like, all right, you know what, I'll compromise. I'll give I can do that. I'm very adaptable. I compromise within the parameters of things that I won't accept, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. For me, I feel like I am very, very direct in what I can and cannot handle. Right? I will let you know from the jump. I don't care if it seems fair or unfair to you. I feel like I let you know what I'm capable of handling and what I cannot. I'll give you the decision to feel like if you can or cannot handle that. That's up to you. You know? Example, I prefer to date women who, likes me as their primary stud. I don't want to date women that wants to deal with other studs. And I say that loosely because that's not necessarily what I believe in. It's not the studs that I care about you dating. Date whoever you want if that's our agreement. The issue is my poly works in a way to where we don't date anyone that the other partner doesn't have the opportunity to date, right? Because I'm more in the closed dynamic. My dynamics are more so closed than they are open. So we all date within each other. So if you are dating anything outside of a femme, that leaves my opportunities off limits, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't expand to me. I will not date anyone you don't have the opportunity to date as well. That same contingency extends to you. At least that's how I feel.
Makes sense.
Okay, let's get to the comments though. Trey, can you read the comments?
What's the last comment y'all read?
Last comment I read was, I think, Daisy's comment.
We're not always going to be
compatibility comes an issue. We're not always going to be compatible, and that's okay. Instead of forcing it, just accept it for what it is and keep moving. Stop trying to fit a square into a circle because a circle looks good.
Ms. Butler said, you can try to come to a compromise, but if it's a boundary, it's a boundary. So I agree. I don't think it can work.
Mm-hmm.
Deja Williams said, I don't think we should compromise on core things. It only breeds resentment.
I agree.
Yeah, I can agree.
I agree. Anything that's true to your core, true to your nature, and true to yourself. No matter anybody's opinion on it, no matter the general opinion on it, if the whole world is against you, if it hurts you to your core and you feel like you can't handle it, fuck the world. You can't handle it. You said you can't, and you let that person know that, don't handle it. And don't let nobody guilt trip you into thinking that you may because of the common opinion. You know what you can and can't handle. Stand on that. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? People always try to come at me, oh, the stud thing, the open dating thing. I don't date openly. That's not how I don't just date openly. Everybody I date, I want my women to be a part of. I want to grow one home and one family. So don't tell me about no other stud that I can't be intimate with, because that's not how my lifestyle works in all realms. So go bring that common ass opinion to the next motherfucker that care, because it ain't me. But yeah.
Deja Williams also said, especially if things don't work out, there's an anger of, I changed for you, and now you're leaving me.
That's facts. That's factual.
Edison, this is a question. So are these boundaries set from day one as non-negotiables? Or do you wait for months later to have these discussions?
I think things work of one or two natures.
You lose
I think. Malka, you there? You good?
Yeah, I had to grab my charger.
Oh, you all right? Let me see if I'm good. Nah, she went to grab her charger.
No, it was black on my screen.
She probably moved her phone and grab her charger.
Yeah, because I'm not on the iPad, so the phone dropped.
Yeah. I figured it was something. All right, so I'm sorry. Reread Etta's question.
So are these boundaries set from day one as non-negotiables, or do you wait for months later to have these discussions?
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna stab at that first. I think a lot of things should be set definitely at the beginning. You know, I think everything should be at least attempted to be touched on in the beginning. But I think that's unrealistic. I think to say within the first 48 hours of me, I'm going to tell you exactly what it takes to be in my life is unreasonable. I think you grow to like people And then you get blindsided by things that you may have mentioned in the beginning, but fail to specify and dig into because you are like, what is it called? Like love lusted or love locked?
No, it's less.
When they said no, you said you got the love eyes.
Oh, love eyes.
Yeah.
Like you love lusted. You say you love lusted, you got the love eyes. So you tend to ignore certain things, and when that normalizes, when that relationship starts to normalizes, you come back to these serious conversations to what it takes to be together, because y'all facing reality of be together or not to be together. So you got to have these serious conversations again, right? People act like being with someone together for months is a long time, and it's not. You learn somebody very little in that amount of time, and you're continuing to learn. So you feel like what you should have told me months ago is what I should have told you when I first met you, but I could have only told you that if we had time to get to know each other and I get comfortable to tell you that. Because you weren't privileged to that information upon me and me, because I don't know you. I don't owe you nothing. But now as I'm getting to know you, I'm opening up to you. You feel like the information I feel comfortable giving you now is information I should have been told you. You know, all of our time is valuable. We just pick how we spend it.
So for me, and this is my Capricorn toxic trait, I'm business orientated in everything I do. I'm transactional. I'm going to discuss as if I'm sitting at a board meeting and I'm giving you a contract. And these are the terms and conditions I'm going to hold you by. So once I cross the line of, oh, I like this person, I'm getting good morning texts, I'm sending the good morning messages. Now we've crossed that boundary to where I feel compelled to tell you, this is my dynamic. This is what I need within my poly lifestyle. Are you with it? I can't wait until my feelings is involved and now I got the dopamine going and I'm all head over heels and I got the butterflies in my stomach to want to discuss that, because now my judgment is clouded.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't like wasting my time at all in anything. So I've been told that I'm cold and I'm insensitive, but knowing in all aspect and in respect to anyone else, I don't come to waste time. I don't. So for me, I have to get everything out in the front. Like, this is what I'm open to, and this is a no. And I'm not going past my no. I don't break that for anybody. So I have to give it up front. Like, you know, like I said, once I start liking and feeling and all of that, all right, let's have this discussion.
Yeah, and definitely at the liking and feeling stage. At the liking and feeling stage, I think that's definitely vital that you start having those discussions. You know?
Yeah, because I don't want to hurt nobody. I done hurt some people before. It ain't nice.
Yeah, I think it also goes like, you know, I feel like this conversation, please stop letting that back. I think this conversation also could be contingent on the type of people you're speaking to and the type of love languages that everybody, you know, bounces off of. Because one person might say, hey, tell me immediately. And one person say, hey, bitch, I don't know you. I'm not telling you shit.
Right.
You know, and that's me. That I'm that person. I don't speak to a soul I don't feel necessary to speak to. You understand? I feel like speaking to me is a privilege. You know, I'm a very cocky and egotistical person in my own nature. Yet I'm the sweetest, kindest, softest person you'll ever meet. You'll never know that about me unless I tell you. Right? So, with that being said, why would I give you that information on day one? But like you said, the difference between you and I is you're transactional. I'm transactional to a sense. I'm definitely not completely transactional. I gotta promote you. If this is a business transaction, you'll get the rest of the terms and agreements upon your promotion. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
You know, that's that's how it works to me. You know, that's that Leo. So, I know it is. I know it is.
So in a sense, do you feel as though doing things that way, based off your nature, you lead people on?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You want to know why? Because
have you ever been accused of that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But I hate when I touch up on things and somebody else didn't dig into it. And then they blame me for not digging into it. Like if I said a statement you generally didn't like, and then you didn't show me no dislike to that statement, I would breeze by it like I didn't know you didn't like it.
But how can you expect somebody to, you know, speak on that statement if, oh, I'm all in love and I'm feeling good about myself and I'm hugging my pillow tight at
Exactly.
night.
So here's where
And
the blame
feeling
game.
good.
Here's where the blame game comes in. You're blaming me for bringing you something that you didn't comment on, and then I'm blaming you for having love eyes. How about we just understand that we're in a predicament where we both ignore this, and now we have to deal with
And then handle it now, right?
Exactly. Especially when the now, people get crazy in the now is a couple of months later. If this is happening years later, this is problematic. If this is happening a year later, this is problematic. But this is happening 2-3 months in, that seems like the normal time to be getting to know a person and figuring things out.
Now, you know, in a cliche, the lesbian world, 3 months is 5 years. 1 month, we done been together for 2 years. You know, it's the spin on everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
I'm
true.
gonna have to agree with the audience. That's that Leo shit.
You know what? And guess what? I'm going to say it like a loud, proud lion. Y'all could kiss my ass. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think I always say I speak from the minority. I speak for the lesser people who feel how I feel. But definitely understand there's a group of people who feel how I feel.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying isn't coming from my ass. I'm not speaking out of a place that's not coming from logic. What I'm saying makes sense. It's just hard for the next person to digest it. And that's okay. But I live how I live comfortably. And you how you live how you live comfortably. We shouldn't intermingle the two if what I say is problematic for you. You feel me?
Right. I agree. Definitely agree.
It's definitely how I feel. I say that in the page all the time. I know I be looking like an asshole and shit. I don't care. I'm still the most loving person on this motherfucker. You know? And I stand on that. I stand on that because I believe in what I believe in. And I'm open, but people be mad because I still be strong in what I believe in.
Right.
You know? Which Deja said something I wasn't able to see. What did she say?
Deja said, that's me too. I'm going to lay it all out because I don't want to waste either of our time. It works for me.
Okay. What about?
Ed said, absolutely. This is while Malka was talking. She said, why wait? Time is valuable.
I got a question for the crowd before you keep continuing because I want them to keep commenting.
Okay.
What about when you are introduced to a new dynamic or something that neither one of you really signed up for, and now you're expressing the new boundaries you find out within that time frame, because this is new to all parties, right? So now new boundaries have to be set, right? So what time frame do you find it applicable to tell someone your boundaries if you are figuring them out? That's a question for the crowd. Okay. What's the next comment? We got any more comments?
Okay. Before that, Deja said the flip side to that is people sometimes use that info you give up front to pretend to be what you're looking for.
That's true. That is true. That is true. And, you know, it all boils down to, you know, you never knowing the person you with until you actually with that person. People want so much up front, like I know you. I wouldn't, if I'm on a train, if I'm on a bus, and homeboy asks me for $1, I could willingly, without any guilt in my mind, say no, because I don't know him. But if I'm sitting in my grandmother's house and she asks me for $1, I feel compelled to give my grandmother $1. Why? Because I know her and I got a relationship with her. I don't owe you nothing upon meeting you. I need to see your character and what you deserve from me. You don't deserve that up front. Some people may be willing to give it to you, but don't expect it from me. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know you, fuck you. That's how I feel. Like, I don't owe you nothing. You want me to give you my life story.
Run it down. Yeah, I'm not that type.
Yeah, you know, I got to get to know you, and that takes time, unfortunately. So, pardon me as I waste yours, or you might waste mine. But that's what socialism is. That's what people do. You know, we run through people till we find the right one. Pardon me if I'm not the right one for you. You know, I'm figuring it out like you are.
That's something that I stand on. I hate getting so tell me about yourself type of question.
Tracy just said that to me earlier.
man, learn me in real time.
I don't know.
Don't ask me, tell me about yourself. So what? Now you could put up this facade and this image to conform to what I tell you I like? No.
Yeah, that's exactly what Deja just said too. Sometimes you tell people things for them to conform exactly into what you're looking for, and that's not what I want.
Right.
You
We're
know what I'm
gonna
saying?
talk.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk and we're gonna take our time and we're gonna engage each other and we're gonna figure out if we a fit or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to the comments. Okay. If I'm not comfortable with it, I'm gonna say something. What if they show disagreement from the beginning? Kenyatta, I don't necessarily understand your question. What do you mean if they show disagreement from the beginning? Like boundaries. Are we talking about boundaries when you said you can't handle something? They just said I speak on new boundaries the moment something becomes an issue for me. Facts. Everyone ain't for everyone. Yeah. And Deja said, nothing is a waste of time, just an experience to help you discover more about what you want and need. Yeah, I definitely agree, you know. Everybody want to be like, don't waste my time, don't waste my time. I don't even know if I'm wasting your time. I'm not even sure if we're wasting time. We may or may not be. We got to figure it out. Like, you know, so, yeah. Okay. This next question is, what time is it? Oh, okay, we got on time, man. This next question is, how long should you wait to introduce a new partner to an existing partner? This is in essence of, I'm asking the question two different ways. So I think we could first address it. I'm asking it in a triad based or like in a closed dynamic based and in a dated separate base, right? So how long should you wait to introduce your new partner to your existing partner when dating separately? Let's ask that first.
So in dating separately, I think once you've got through that initial of what's your name and your favorite color and all of that, and there's some substantial type of dialogue, you know, you could be like, listen, I've been talking to so and so, a little more interested. Maybe you guys should engage with each other, see where it go.
Yeah.
I don't think in essence it should be dragged out too much longer, because then that gets back to, you know, the primary basis of this life, the boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that'll set you up to break them.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I agree with you in a lot of ways. I also feel like the answer I'm probably gonna give is contingent on the relationship I'm in. And I think that should be probably immediately, right? As immediate as possible. So I'm very open with like who my wife is. If you're talking to me, if you have a conversation with me, I'll loosely say my wife. You know what I'm saying? If that's problematic for you, then we probably shouldn't be in the same realms of communication. You know, I loosely say my wife all the time. So you know she's very existent and very apparent. But I don't say it to a way it's where it's overbearing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ask me about my day, it probably included my wife, so I'm not going to shy away from saying my wife was included into my day. Right? I think I would introduce, and we're talking about in essence of dating separately, my partner to this new person. Probably, if the first date takes place at my house, then obviously it would be at that first date. But if not, after the first date, and contingent on how I feel about that person. After the first date, we chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, damn, I like this girl. I'm definitely like, all right, it's time for them to at least know who each other is, have a conversation, something. You know, because in my world, their relationship matters to me. And my relationship is contingent. The continuance of our relationship is contingent on how well you blend in my house and not just with my wife. You know, so if you don't get along in my house, then probably can't be my partner, as it's my house includes my wife.
And now that's based off your dynamic, because like you said, you want to be the primary stud in your situation, in your relationship, in your dynamic.
Not primary stud, no.
You said the primary for your women.
Yes, primary, just primary.
Yes.
Just primary.
Okay.
Because if they can't have a primary femme, it's not a stud thing. It's a person thing. It's a me thing. I'm Big Kahuna.
Right. So essentially, you want everyone to develop a sense of relationship, whether they can date or not.
They all have the opportunity to date, but I definitely want the opportunity for a sense of good relationship to develop. I'm not saying everyone has to be best friends, not whatsoever. Right. But we all have to be able to
but to have a sense of a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, definitely. I think that so in essence of dating separately, I think that should happen like soon after you realize, I kind of like a person. Like I said, not everybody's communicative as me. Like I already like probably told my wife. We already had conversations. Once I started getting excited, once I started getting like like expecting the person to text, I probably already told my wife. And not in essence of reporting to my wife, because I tell my wife all the time. I don't feel like, and she'll tell me all the time, like, you don't have to report to me. Like, I am not deemed to go running tell her anything. Like I hate
right, like,
that
yo,
thing.
somebody just
like you're not my
yeah.
mother. I'm not about to run and report to you. Like at the end of the day, like I said, me and my wife, we was best friends before we got together. I can't speak to anybody else. So I go to my wife as my best friend talker sometimes. I'd be like, oh my God, baby, let me tell you how this girl sent me a text. And it be on something like that. I'm telling her because I'm geeked and we talking like best friends. As opposed to her responding just as my wife.
Like you got to tell on yourself before she find out.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I felt like something happened and I needed a night to digest that before I went to Tracia and told Tracia, I would take my night and digest that because I'm not no fucking mandated reporter in my relationship. I don't need to just go ahead and boom, let me tell you what happened because it happened real quick. Like that's not how it works. I tell you because one, I'm comfortable and my want to tell you should be more important than my need to tell you.
But what's more important than your need to tell her that she provided the space for you to feel comfortable.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people don't have that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have that. So that she provided that space to allow you to feel like, yo, you still, after getting married and this becoming your wife, you still maintain that dynamic of being best friends.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. I think in different relationships that may not be the same thing. Some people are just girlfriend and girlfriends or wife and wife. And if you don't have that sense of wanting to naturally and happily tell your wife or best friend everything, then you definitely need to have a conversation with them on how these conversations will come about. You have to set a comfort zone for you to understand that you have to have these conversations, but how are we going to have them?
Mm-hmm.
Baby, can you update me on the comments? Oh, yeah.
Get it. Sorry. Oh, Lord. Ella said, what if they show disagreement from the beginning?
I read that comment.
Okay. If I'm not comfortable with it, I'm going to say something.
Read that.
Daisy says speak on new boundaries.
Read that.
Look, I went to go get a drink. What y'all want to say?
It's all right, baby.
David Williams said, nothing is a waste of time, just an experience to help you discover more about what you want and need.
Okay, next.
Ella said, boundaries are important from the beginning. That's all I was saying.
Got it.
T Drama Free Color said, ASAP. Once you start having conversations with the other person, you bring that conversation to your current partner, as well as letting the new person know about your current partner.
Yeah, I definitely agree in a way, but I feel like if you ever feel a need to this happen, I must go tell babe. Like the first thing if you feel like a reporter in your relationship, I feel like that's bad. That's just my personal opinion. If you feel like you gotta go report to your mama that you got an F on your report card, come on, we're adults.
If you don't want to,
we agree to a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like you should want to genuinely and happily just want to go tell your wife because this is the lifestyle that you thought was beautiful for y'all.
Nika said, I tell my partner the day I meet someone.
Like I was out grocery shopping.
Oh, yeah.
I tell them every step of the way. I can't hide anything because I can't lie without them knowing I am. And then she continued to say, my partner's my best friend. So I told them everything.
See, that's when your partners are best friends. That'd be the best. That'd be the best. You know what I'm saying? Because, I come to you and tell you some shit. First of all, for some advice. Because I want somebody to tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like, hold on, I gotta tell somebody. All my shit, let me tell Tracy. Like, that's the first thing I think. You know? Yeah. What did T say?
Oh, she just said that. Wait, before that, Etta said comfort is important. Etta said we are all grown, reporting isn't necessary. Then Nika said, I don't feel like a reporter in my relationship. Babe is literally my best friend.
Lit. That's lit.
Then T said, no, you only bring good people to the relationship. If y'all both have a match, then it might work out for you.
That sounds more triad based. Yeah.
Because if that's not...
Pardon me. Okay. So we answered the question in the essence of dating separate. Okay, how long should you wait to introduce the new person that you may be talking to your existing partner if you're in a triad? If you are looking for a triad, excuse me, if you are two people who are looking for this additional partner to form a triad. All right, so say you are the primary person who recruits, like you are the recruiter of your relationship. Like example, like in my relationship, I'm like the recruiter, the main recruiter of the relationship. Like I recruit the bitches. That's just how it go. You know, if you are the recruiter in a relationship, how long should you wait to introduce the person that you are recruiting, that you have interest in for the both of y'all to y'all?
Yeah, in a triad situation, definitely immediately, because that allows your partner to engage and explore them, whether it's up front or whether it's from sitting on the sideline. It gives them the ability to say, okay, well, let me look into this person a little further, because eventually I'm gonna have to date them or engage with them or have some type of communication. So it's best in a triad to allow everyone the same level playing field. That way you don't get into primary, secondary, or I need an add-on, or we need a girlfriend. Because in the triad, everything should be balanced. Everybody should not feel as though, okay, I come first, you come second, you come third, or however many partners you choose. Well, triad is 3, but no one should feel as though they supersede another.
Yeah.
In essence. In reality, we know that you may come into something and, you know, y'all been married 5 years. So somebody comes in and they got a lot of catching up to do, but they shouldn't feel that way.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, communicating right up front, like, yo, shorty hot, I'm about to see what's up. I'm gonna bring you along. Let's go.
Yeah. I agree in most ways, definitely. I think a lot of people say immediately. And I think Tricia asked an important question. Y'all probably didn't hear her. She said, well, what is immediately? What does it mean upon hello?
No.
Upon like what does it mean? Like what is immediately? Upon I think she cute.
Right.
Upon, like what is on a stat? I don't understand what made like what we classify as immediate. I mean, as soon as you start liking her, like when is immediately? I think that's a very gray area to say. You know, immediately. we should do it immediately. I can't emphasize that enough. In my mind, and how things work, or how I have normally operated, is I introduce women to my woman when I have had enough conversation with them, when I have seen enough likenesses and similarities, or even, you know, unlikenesses and differences that may be still commonalities, where I see a relationship can be formed, you know. I might say some slick shit like, yeah, go add my wife on Facebook, or yeah, my wife said you cute, or some shit like that, to see where her head is and see how she feels about my wife before I immediately just introduce them. I also make it very clear that in order to have, you know, any communications with me, it is not dire that you have a conversation with my wife. I don't want that to feel forced. So I don't necessarily feel like I have to introduce that immediately, because that would feel forced. Can you connect with me? That's one. We started talking, right? So can you connect with me? Let's see if we connect. The type of person I know my wife to be, I should know what type of person she may may or may not be compatible with. I should know what type of person she is and may not be attracted to. So I would take those things I'm learning and then introduce that to my wife, and then possibly have you two meet. That may happen in a matter of weeks, days. It depends on the conversation that me and that person has, definitely. I can't say immediately. I know my wife, and I think I make a good evaluation for her, and when I'm unsure of the evaluation I'm making for her in our relationship, I bring it to her to see. Babe, I've been talking to this girl, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? Go look at her page. Nah, I don't have that bitch hit me up. You talk to that bitch. You know? But that's how things work in my relationship.
Okay.
All right, we head into the narrowed. That was the fifth question. There's always 5 questions on these lives. We always got a bonus question. So we are heading to the bonus questions. All right. This is a triad-based question, more so for triads. Wait, hold on. Before we even get into that, sorry, backtrack real quick. Trey, catch us on the comments.
Got it. Etta said, soon I would think to see if it's a match. I'm not sure. T Drama Free Color said, I tell my wife when I talk to the person and get the information I need. Only because I know what my wife likes and don't like. So if it works for both of us, then it might be a match for everyone.
What is the information you need? I wasn't clear on that. Who said that?
T Drama Free Color.
T, you said you tell your wife when you get the information you need. So that's not necessarily a time frame. That's a matter of when you get the information you need. I get that. But what information is it that you need to feel like, okay, this woman is applicable. I'm going to bring her to my wife, or, you know, to my primary partner, or whatever the case is.
Deja Williams said, it's hard coming into a couple, even in the best of situations. But it definitely helps to start the dating process at the same time.
Yeah.
She also said, the moment my babe asked I was interested and I said yes, she immediately put me in a group chat with both of them.
Yeah. You know what I realized we stopped doing that we used to do? It's group chats. We used to always do group chats. Now it's just, I'm going to talk to this bitch, you talk to this bitch, we like this bitch.
You don't know why we stopped doing it?
Well, Terica. Oh, wow. Yeah, and I'm going to say her name.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. If anybody has been on this page long enough, y'all know who she is. I don't care. I dead don't care. I don't care.
Calm down.
She
That's
pissed me
why.
off. Yeah, that's why we started doing that.
That's not why we started doing group
Terica,
chats.
dumbass. Yes, it is. Sorry. If you've been on this page long enough, you know exactly who she is. I don't care. She got me tight.
Wait a minute. We stopped doing group chats because you said it was intimidating to the women.
That's because that bitch told us it was intimidating.
Oh my God.
Because of that bitch. Like, look, I'm not going to go into that. It was that bitch. Y'all know who that bitch is. I should say her whole Facebook name.
I'm sorry I said anything.
But I'm not going to. You know, that's why that happened between us. Because of her. Anyway. Catch us up on the comments, baby. Catch us up on the comments,
Sorry.
baby.
She said, if they are a lesbian or bi, if they have drama.
Who said that? And I don't know why they said
I don't know what the hell they said. T said that.
Huh?
T said that.
If
I
they
asked
are
her.
a lesbian or
Oh, that's
bi,
the information she needs. That's the
Oh,
information
okay,
she needs to
okay.
know if they're
Oh.
lesbian
or
and
bi,
or if they're bi,
comma, if they have drama, etc.
etc. That's very broad, but I
That's
get
broad
what you're
shit.
saying.
Drama? That's broad
Yeah,
shit.
drama. Yeah. I think having both group and solo chats are important. Definitely agree
Yes,
with
I
you.
do.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. I think, you know what's a big issue for us? We suck ass in texting, period.
Words. We take them individually
And
and
then
on
in
the
the
group
group
chat.
chat? Oh my God. I done responded to the
Yeah.
individual text 10 times and I ain't never responded to the
Group
group chat.
chat.
Yeah. Stop being like me. Okay. Boom.
Now watch it.
Okay.
It's late.
So
Mine is late.
we didn't really answer what to do when half the triad is connecting better with one half. the couple.
Well, that's where the compromise come in and adapting to change. The person you got with today will not be the same person you're with a year from now or 2 years from now. We all evolve, we all change, we need things differently as we age.
Yeah.
And I think in poly, it's very hard to be set on we have to date together. I think those that set that standard up front soon find out later on that that's not always the outcome, because I can actually vibe with somebody more than my partner, or my partner can vibe with somebody more than I do. So do I compromise my partner's happiness? But we supposed to be poly. So do I say, no, you can't date her because I don't like this bitch, or I don't got a connection, so no.
Okay, so can I throw a question in there, fuck up your mind a little bit? What if that person has that same exact mindset that you're speaking of, but also has set certain boundaries and limitations that they can and cannot handle, and possibly
Based on
dating
their partner?
separate? Yeah, and possibly
Or
dating
the one that
separate
they're
is
dating?
one of those boundaries that they said they can't handle. So say you run into the situation, you're supposed to be in a triad. We was going for a triad. That didn't work. But damn, I didn't slip and fell in love with this girl.
Mm-hmm.
And we never thought about anything outside of a triad. Okay. But I already let you know my boundary was I couldn't date separately. But we tried this triad and half of it failed. How was that handled? Because I think that's a common problem in poly.
It definitely is a common problem, and that's where it gets to where people evolve. And in poly, you have to consistently be open to growth and development.
Yeah.
The reason why we chose poly is to have that ability to date freely with who we come across in our life.
Mm-hmm.
We can't control whether our partners had that same type of vibe and connection.
Yeah.
So when that happens, we need to be able to grow and adapt and say, you know what? I love you, babe. Your happiness means just as much as my own happiness. Go ahead and explore that. I'm confident within our relationship for you to do so freely.
Okay, what if yeah, you go ahead and explore that, but now we changing the entire dynamic that we set our life up for.
You don't have to change your foundation. Your foundation is that. So this is your foundation. And if you dating somebody and a wife don't click with it, you let that person know that's an add-on. Now the things with add-ons, they have to conform to what your foundation already is.
Very
and
true.
If they can't conform to that, then they're not for you and the whole perspective. Because at this point, it's not just you. They're coming into your relationship, which is why a lot of people choose to go into poly as a single person and bring partners on for themselves, bringing the primary or the source. It takes a very, very, very special person to conform to something that's already built.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
I'm not letting nobody mess up my foundation. I'm not doing it. I don't care how much I love you. That's out. I will conform and adapt, but what I have going on and what I'm building and what I see for myself that's it. So we can establish that, we can communicate, we can explore what makes you happy within reason, because you're not dating no man. You know what I mean? That's out. And in certain aspects, like you said, you're not dating another stud. That's out. So there's certain things within reason that we have to be always open to accepting in poly. Otherwise, you're not really poly.
Yeah.
You're just doing it because you want the connections and the freedom to deal with multiple women.
Yeah, I agree. I think when I first came into poly, my mind was a lot more shallow. Hey, I look at
Okay.
it this way. You know, it's going to happen for me this way. And if I can't get a woman that does it this way, I don't want that woman.
Hmm.
Now, most of those statements I just stated are still very true for me today, but I'm a lot more open than I was a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? I think today, in my mind, a couple years ago, you couldn't tell me nothing about dating separate. I ain't want to do that. We was going to grow as one family and one relationship, and that's what it's going to be. You know, but as of, I don't know, 365 days ago, that conversation changed for me. You know, that conversation definitely changed for me drastically. I've become more open. Like, you know, dating separately might be something that's fit into my lifestyle. And with me being more open into that and me learning more about poly within that, my wife has as well. You know, I think we have definitely adapt and changed. I say all the time, humans are the most adaptable beings on the world. We adapt to every
Hmm.
situation we are thrown. You know, if something's thrown at us, we learn to adapt. We figure it out, and that's what we do. You know, because we don't have no choice but to get through it. So if you got through it, that means you adapted, and that's very true in poly. You sign up for one thing, and then that don't work out the way you signed up for, and you adapt. And you adapt.
Right.
You adapt within that poly frame, that poly mindset. You keep your core boundaries, definitely. You know, but shit happens, and we have to make sure that we are open to be the people that we are supposed to be, because we don't know the lifestyle that we don't know the life that we signed up for. We don't know the next steps. You know what I'm saying? We just everything's thrown at us, and we got to figure it out at that point.
So here's a question for you then. How long will you cut someone off if they don't fit in to your lifestyle or based on your principles and your foundations?
Um, I think to answer that question in a time frame way is hard for me, because I
Not
can't say
necessarily
how.
a time frame. Maybe we could speak on what actions are being shown or
Um,
not shown.
I think consistency in non-conforming, not adapting, and not being understanding, you know, is gonna make me feel like, yeah, I can't get jiggy. I think
Hmm.
making me feel like all my efforts are falling on deaf ears and are of dissatisfaction is gonna make me withdraw. So I think consistency and fuck ups. If we've been
Okay.
arguing, I'm not an arguer. You understand? Like, I'm really good at it. Don't get me wrong. I think most of y'all gonna say because I'm a Leo, like that makes sense. But it's very true. I'm very good at arguing. I can be completely wrong and sound right. I'm just really good at it. I don't know why. But I don't like to do it. So my nature is to withdraw, retract. I don't want to do
Hmm.
it. You understand? I'll get real. Once I get real quiet, you already know it's a dub for you. Once I start feeling that way about you, it's a dub. So I think at that point, that's when it's enough. I don't know when it's a time frame to say, you know what I'm saying? Because I get irritated, different people, you know what I'm saying? Girl, chick I was dealing with a couple months ago, oh my gosh, she irritated me in 5 minutes. Like, I was just irritated, done with her, so aggravated. Like, you know, she irritated me badly. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to the woman I'm dealing with now, it takes so much more for her to irritate me. You know, like, I want to be more
Okay.
patient with her. I have that connection with her to where I'm a little more calm. You know, like I still got that lion in me to where I'm biting back real quick, but I want to be more calm with her. So my
Gotcha.
lack of tolerance may seem longer with her as opposed to it did with the last woman.
Okay. Makes sense. Hmm.
Yeah, can you just say growth is important? That's facts. Most of us, we move at a slower pace than necessary. Growth is definitely important. Okay. Okay. Last bonus question I want you to answer first. It says dating separate. What if that was never an option? All right, you never considered that. And suddenly, due to the circumstances of one half of the relationship connecting better with that person, you are now considering it, right? So the question is, what if that was never an option and it's now on the table? Like, what conversations needed to be had? What is something that you need to make sure you do to secure your original relationship?
Definitely have this free space of allowing my partner to express their concerns, me being patient, understanding, knowing that this is something new for them as well and not just me.
Yeah.
Being able to grow, not just for myself, but for her as well. Because it's a culture shock in a sense. You go in thinking one thing and now we looking at something else. So everyone has to, you got a lot of fire and emotions going and feelings. So me typically always being somebody who's sensible, who's logical. It would be my responsibility to put a pause on everything. Like, all right, listen, stop. Let's examine where the problem is. And now let's come up with a solution. And then we go from there.
Yeah, I definitely I agree. I agree entirely with what you said. I'm not even exactly sure how I could word it better. You figure out the issue. Like I was a math teacher at one point. You write down the problem. You figure out what it is you're trying to solve. You step by step break it down, and you get to your solution.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, that's how relationships work. That brings me to another question, right? It's not on the list of questions that we prepared for, but it's another question that's just generally in my mind. Before I get to that question, baby, update me on the comments, please.
I got you. Miss Gilliard said, to Deja, I was just going to say this, having both is important, group and solo chats. Miss Etta said, growth is important. And then she said again, understanding and communication are both necessary. You also have to be open-minded. It's not always easy, but doable.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that a lot of people would say I struggle with, is being open-minded. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think I'm very open-minded. I think when people hear my response to what they told me, they just don't like it. Because, I hear what you say. I understand why you said it. Still don't agree. They're like, oh, you're not open-minded. But, bitch, I heard what you said. I see why you said it. Bitch, I don't think that. I'm very, very, very open-minded. But I am a very, very old dog. I say all the time, I'm an old, like 86-year-old grumpy man, who likes his tea, aka my drink and my blunt, and I don't want nothing else. I'm stuck in my ways, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm stuck in my ways, but I'm open to know how your ways work. I want to ask you questions. I want to know how your brain works. That doesn't mean I want to implement it in my life.
Right.
I was a psych major. I can't help myself.
All of that. Listen, I'm going to explore all that. I'm going to pick your brain and all that. But that don't mean I want you.
Yeah, definitely. I can't help myself. I study psychology. It's in my nature to pick the brain. But people think if you pick my brain, then understand and digest
then you
it.
like
me.
I picked it and that was enough. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And that's just how certain people are. I'm definitely one for sociology and psychology and people studying. Yeah. That's my thing. I will engage in numerous conversations just to learn people.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited to have this live with you. I know we had that in common. I know we come from such different realms of perspective, but we both have that same psychology background, so we're trying to dig and pick at each other's minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
My question, we caught up on the comments?
Yes.
We caught up on the comments. So my question was, I think this is something that the group speaks about a whole lot and we don't dig into enough. and that's hierarchy in relationships, right? Feeling like you're coming in as a lesser value than the already existing partner. Um, do you feel like that's a common issue we deal with in the poly world? Also, how is it? How do you think it's addressable? Like, how do we address this issue if it is one?
It definitely is an issue.
Yeah.
Definitely is. And being realistic, the only way to address that issue is when you see that there's a hierarchy based in poly, to run. That's it. Because you're not going to change what's already established. These are their dynamic. That's what they have going on. So if I'm with somebody and I'm bringing someone in, and me and my partner is like, okay, and I'm saying, oh, well, you need to check with my partner before we do this, or let me confide in my partner before we go over here. That's the sense of hierarchy.
Yeah.
Now you're feeling the new or the add-on is basically just being a side chick. Like, why I gotta sit up here, and why do I have to make someone feel that way when we all should have some sense of balance? Now, like I stated earlier, everyone knows that they may come into a relationship that's already established. But don't make me feel as though I have to play catch up to you guys' history.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a retreat. Like, I'm not competing with 7-8 years. I'll never win.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of situations where, those type of poly dynamics fail is because jealousy, insecurities, power trip, because now you may have a more masculine energy here, and now your feminine energy get the chance to exert her little bit of masculine energy, and now she want to put that on your feminine one. It's ugly. It's ugly, and
Yeah.
I don't got time for it. So
Yeah,
my
definitely.
best advice, me personally, I'm running. If I go into an established relationship and the littlest inkling that I pick up of that, all right, y'all, we could be friends. We could hang out, have a drink, game night, but I am not dealing with you guys intimately. That's
That
out.
makes sense. Makes sense. I think a lot of what you said makes sense. I think the general statement is, yeah, hierarchy, run, go, like red flag. I think as much as I agree with you, it would, I would go against my nature to not bring up a different point.
Of course.
I think that a lot of people struggle to understand hierarchy and how it works. I think the inkling of jealousy to most people is a sense of hierarchy. I think the inkling of getting to know people and giving me the time to allot you to grow the same status in my life as any other person is also misconstrued as hierarchy. And I'll break it down. A woman I was dealing with, she damn near wanted everything my wife got. The same amount of time, split down the middle. She felt like she, everything
Right
should be
off the bat.
damn near a couple months. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple months, maybe 6 months. And I had explained to her, like, my wife is my wife. We went through the girlfriend phase, we went through the friend phase, took some time to get to this relationship. So that's that. Let's act like she doesn't exist, all right? And let's act like I'm in a monogamous relationship with you. You have to be my friend first. You have to grow to be my girlfriend, and you have to grow to be my wife. So let's act like my wife doesn't exist still. You still need to take the same precautionary time measures that it takes to grow the same comfortabilities, right? So I couldn't give her my time 50-50 because bitch, I only known you for 6 months. Like, that's not how this works. I got a whole life at here, like life over here, and I live in Delaware. Like, I got a whole life over here. I can't give you 50-50. You don't. I barely know you. We've been talking for like 6 months. That's enough. And I felt like she didn't want to go through the girlfriend phase. She felt like because I had a wife, she should be a wife as well because I had one. Like as if we didn't have to grow that relationship and grow that bond to gain access to that title. As if the beginnings of our relationship were just out in the thin air because I already had a wife. And I felt like that was completely wrong of her. Like she wanted to do everything my wife was doing so bad, and she didn't even want to be my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy to me. So I think when we talk about hierarchies, we also got to understand that there's levels and phases, not to be who my wife is, but to be the person who's been in my life for a long time and grow the same comfort as anybody else would have. You have to put in the time and effort too. So don't come in with so many expectations like you're equal, because you are not. You are not equal to my wife. You're not equal to my mother. You're not even equal to my dog. I don't know you. I don't know you. Prove your spot. And
Now,
create a position that you try. I always say, you better audition for the part you're going for. You know what I'm saying? If you try to be my wife, audition for that part. You know what I'm saying? Go for that.
but do you make the person feel that? Is it like an uncomfortable space where you like you said, I don't know you, audition for the role?
No.
Right. So you will have to say there also is, outside of the time growing, putting that time and getting invested, you don't create uncomfortable circumstances
Definitely
for somebody to feel that way.
Definitely no. I think
you gotta know, but I'm not gonna make you feel that way.
I think in most relationships, that's very common. I think I've seen that to where that's definitely the issue.
Right.
In my relationship, I can't say that. I think like me and my wife, we put women in a situation to initially feel comfortable, and then if discomforts arise, then we deal with that. But that initial precedent is definitely not set, especially if you're talking to me as an individual. I never portray it to where like we got to make sure my wife is definitely included. No. If any woman who has dealings with me has known, feel comfortable with me first before I try to throw you onto my wife. You know what I'm saying? My wife is 10 times worse than me. She got the pretty face and all that, but she a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get through the pit. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna throw you to the wolves if I throw you to her, so I ain't just gonna throw you to her. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I might not throw you to her at all because you might not survive.
You might not make it.
So I might just keep you to myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It depends on if I'm feeling greedy or not that day. But, so in my mind, I don't present that precedent to make women feel like there's some type of hierarchy. I think I definitely give a clear entrance to, you have to just make your way and build your relationship with me. Because one, I already have my iffy ways with new people. Yeah. And I think when we talk triad base, people be too triad base. Me and my wife. Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you without your wife? Could I have a conversation with you without bringing up your wife? And I think I'm very capable of that, but I think a lot of people are not.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe catch us up in the comments.
Cause y'all roll. So Nika said, "Yes, you will, Malka. We texted in the text game, you Capricorn."
Yo, listen. Like the first 3 text messages, she called me out. She was like, "You a Capricorn, ain't you?" I'm like,
"It's Nika."
Was I set
she
up?
was going hard on me for being a Leo.
No, everybody.
Yo, I'm like, was I set up? What happened?
That y'all was in the texting game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Deja Williams said, "Having a hierarchy makes it feel like being a side chick within your own relationship."
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Sin said, "Agreed." Sin Love said, "Let's make new memories or move around."
Yeah.
Deja Williams said hierarchy also tends to make the couple feel like any effort by one counts as effort for both.
I could see that. I don't think we've ever dealt with that, so it's hard to say, oh yeah, but I could see that. That's like if you know, I don't know, I sent her a good morning text, you don't feel like you have to because she heard from us this morning.
Oh no, that's dumb.
Yeah, like that's
right,
dumb in
that's
my
dumb.
mind. But like I said,
But
we
you
don't have
know, there are people that have done that. Oh well, why she ain't send me nothing, or why ain't heard from her today? Like why we
But
both? Why you feel compelled that we?
y'all single people do that shit too. Y'all single people be like, oh yeah, I told you about my day, so why I gotta tell you about my day? Oh, I told you I had to do this at this time, and then didn't
So
tell
it
the
go
other
both
part.
ways.
Yeah, it definitely goes both ways. I think.
Think about copy paste.
Like right now I will say I've been guilty. Like yo, y'all live in the same house together. Y'all don't talk. Like, how about y'all have a debriefing at the end of the night?
No, we have individual
Nah,
relationships.
yeah, that's, you know what's crazy? And sometimes that debriefing does happen, but a lot of times that debriefing doesn't. Especially,
Right.
it depends on if you're talking about triad, if you depending on like dating separate. So sometimes that, especially with dating separate, that debriefing just don't happen.
But it comes with experience, because somebody that's new to poly is thinking like, I'm with y'all, and y'all not talking about me. Why I gotta keep saying the same
But
thing
in what
twice?
timely manner? In what timely manner? So we could be talking about going to the store. You could be at the store. You could have told me, and I don't know. My wife could be at work, and you talking about some debriefing. I'm at work. She at home. You should have told the both of us. You got an interview on Tuesday. You might not have had the one. And this is when you talk about that copy paste. And this is why single people feel like copy paste is so convenient, because they're telling the same person the information twice. But you get a copy paste,
yeah.
and you'll feel some type of way. And I get a copy paste, and I'll be like, like you could have at least said and switch it to me. Like, you know.
Or change the emojis up.
Yeah, you know. Definitely. But I think it's a lot for both parties to have to deal with. The single person having to say the same thing twice. And for the couple to have to look for the other couple to what the single person didn't feel like she had to say twice.
Oh, she thought you was going to the store? Because she told me she was asleep about 3 hours ago. She woke up and went to the store?
Yeah, definitely. And then you'll get mad if you got that same message I got, but the bitch was trying to give us the same information. You know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's a whole lot of things. It's just like understanding and knowing the person you with, their intent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if you with a bad person and you feel like this person don't always got the best intent, then maybe you should reevaluate the person that you with. If you always think they up to some no good shit.
Yeah.
Ava Williams says, and that feeling of hierarchy also leaves a greater chance of the new person connecting with one more than the other. Yes. And it's usually whichever person is making them feel most like equals.
I agree. I agree. The sense of hierarchy never comes intentionally. I don't think people say, yeah, we're going to place this in 1, 2, 3 order intentionally. I think that sounds mean, and that sounds very not like poly. I think you will get ridiculed if you do some shit like that and boldly say it. But I think it's very unintentional. It's in a way to where we are the foundation, and we are trying to present that foundation in a way it looks unhealthy. It looks uninviting.
Like most poly relationships that are successful are more successful with people who have minimum 2 to 3 years experience of poly. The reason being is they don't went through all these phases. It's just like a child growing up. You got to crawl, you walk, you run. So in poly, you go through all of these. You go through being jealous. And now you know how to handle that with your next situation. Yeah. You go through feeling like you the side chick. So now you know next time how to approach a couple. So it's all through experience. So it's like I think most people who get in a poly, and if they're looking to join a couple or anything, that couple should ask like, hey, how long y'all been together? or how long you been poly? Because
Yeah,
now
but
you know what you're
sometimes that
dealing
don't be
with.
meaning nothing. That don't be meaning nothing. I'm not gonna speak on no specifics, but I know a couple specifically that's been poly for like the last 10, 15 years. And they been just running through vision. Like, oh my God, it gotta be done. Look, but I ain't look. It gotta be done.
It's a void. That's what I was about to say. They're trying to fill a void, obviously. They
Yeah.
got a void within their situation that they trying to fill. Because poly is all happy. I mean, I don't know no successful poly couple that got them problems. Like, it's the most fulfilling thing ever.
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, this is the next commentary.
Ms. Williams says, so the needs are very different because you're coming into an experience you'll never get to have. Oh, and if she's willing to sacrifice having that, then they deserve some extra considerations.
Okay. Is it the last comment?
No. Etta said, I think it's common sense in most situations, or to be expected, that things are going to be equal initially. You have to put in work in a new relationship. Nika said, I be on it. I knew because the way she texted me and my wife is an asshole, and y'all. If I could show y'all the first text messages, you'll understand why I felt like she was a Capricorn. Right?
Oh, man.
Etta said, sometimes it's tiring saying the same thing twice. Or maybe you just forgot you only told one of them. She went
I'm dead.
Judo Dean said, priorities be all messed up. This emoji. Mrs. Gilliard said, it's just a lot all the way around. T Drama Free Color said, that's when these group messages come in handy.
Yeah.
Deja said, yes, T, I use the group chats for things I don't want to have to repeat more than once.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense.
I think we also fail to realize that our humanistic nature allows us to best connect with one person at a time. Not one person generally, but just one person at a time. Like literally, if you study psychology, you'll understand that it's the capacity of our brain to digest and understand one relationship at a time. We're almost incapable of doing two or more at a time. And not to say that we all are, I'm pretty sure some of us can do it fine, obviously, hence poly. But we best digest relationships one at a time, right? When I learned that, when I started studying that in school, I was well into my poly by then. And I had made a rule to myself that any and every time I'm getting to know a woman and I'm getting serious with a woman, that I would dedicate my time and attention to that woman specifically. Right? I would never ever date or continuously openly date while specifically focusing on one new person in our new relationship. I would give us the respect of our new relationship to not date outside of that, because we best connect with people when we deal with people one-on-one. That's why these group chats, they sound great. They sound great, but it feels report like rather than understanding that individual one-on-one relationship. It feels like you're having a group conversation. You're talking to a crowd rather than talking to.
It's disconnected.
Yes.
Especially when you think about being on FaceTime with an opposing part. Like if you're on FaceTime with one woman, am I not there? Can I not speak to her? Should I not speak to her? No, I should be able to speak to her just as freely as you're on the phone. And at the same time, give y'all's time to have y'all personal conversation.
Yeah. And also, what if your individual conversation wasn't flowing how our individual's conversation was flowing? What if just in this moment, like so say example, the vital information that we wanted to know was, I don't know, sis went and had a job interview today. But say y'all was talking about how you didn't wake up feeling the best and I don't know, your stomach hurts and you just want to lay in bed all day. You know, she's not going to bring up this job interview at this point. Y'all talking about that. She's worried about how she's talking to you and how you feel. Say I'm asking her, hey, what's going on? What's your agenda for today? Well, I got a job interview. And then we're talking hours later. And then, oh, shit. Yeah, she done told me she had a job interview. Why you ain't know? It's that simple. It's literally that simple.
Do I feel that way?
And this is why I say the intentions of the person that you're dealing with matter. Do you really think that person is that malicious to withhold that information from you? Calm the fuck down and realize what it is. And I think that's the most important thing in poly. Like, just calm down. If you're dealing with someone with bad intentions, you're dealing with the wrong person. If you got to question so much, dealing with the